Good morning, cadets. Today we are learning about a device which is used to store the charges, that is capacitor. We are learning what is capacitor and capacitance. Capacitor is a system of pair of conductors, which is especially used to store the charges. A system of two conductors separated by an insulating medium between them is called as capacitor. Capacitor is that system, is that device which is used to store large amount of charge, and thereby it is a device to store energy in the form of electrostatic potential energy. When the conductors of the capacitors are charged, then naturally there will be an electric field developed between them. When there is an electric field, there will be an electric potential difference. And when there is electric field, electric charge and potential difference, definitely by storing large amount of charge, it is storing the electric energy in the form of electrostatic potential energy. And this electrostatic potential energy, which is there in the form of charges, is utilized in electronic circuits whenever it is required. Therefore, a capacitor is a system of two conductors separated by an insulating medium like a dielectric. It is a device used to store large amount of charge and hold the energy in the form of electrostatic potential energy. Whenever this energy is required, this device is used in the electronic circuits for getting the release of charges and for getting the electrical energy. Okay. So, what is the principle of this capacitor? This is what we have to learn. As it is said, we will take just system of two conductors. Suppose this is a system of two conductors of any arbitrary shape. If this conductor, suppose this is a conductor, if it is charged with plus Q, and then the second conductor is also charged with same amount of minus Q, 6, 7, same amount of minus Q, then the medium in between these two conductors is being separated by insulating medium. The medium may be mica, medium may be any dielectric, paper or any other dielectric like mica, paper, or even it may be air or vacuum. When you take any conductor, the conductor is neutral. So, by taking two conductors and connecting them to the terminals of a battery, conductor 1 getting connected to positive terminal of the battery, second conductor connected to negative terminal of the battery, and when the battery is switched on, then these conductors are charged. If one conductor is charged with positive plus Q charge, then negative second conductor will be charged with minus Q charge. Then as a result, there will be potentials which are being developed. Suppose the first conductor, this is the first conductor and this is the second conductor. If the first conductor is charged with plus Q, let us say it is having potential V1 due to this charge, and second conductor is charged with negative. As I said, this should be connected to positive terminal of the battery. Symbolically, I can just show you positive terminal of the battery, and the second one should be connected to negative terminal of the battery. Since these are being conductor, so the first conductor will be charged positive and second conductor will be charged negative. So this is done with the help of battery. So this process is called as charging. Before connecting to the battery, these conductors are electrically neutral, right? So by connecting to the terminals of the battery, the work is done by the battery in driving the charges. So you can see here, conductor 1 is connected to the positive terminal, so it is getting positively charged. What it does actually, it takes the electrons one by one from the conductor 1 and it supplies those electrons to the conductor 2. I think you got the point. It takes electrons one by one from the conductor 1 because it is connected to positive terminal. So positive terminal attracts the electrons which are free electrons in the conductor. These electrons are driven from one conductor to second conductor, and this is what we call it as charging. When the electrons are taken out from here, this will get positively charged, and the same electrons are supplied over here in excess, this becomes negatively charged. So this is what we call it as charging. This charging continues until it has the ability to hold some maximum amount of charge. So that is what we call it as capacitance. Capacitance is the ability of a capacitor to hold certain maximum amount of charge. That is what we call it as capacitance. Ability of holding the charges of a device called as capacitor is called its capacitance, right? So whatever the work that is done by the battery in charging these conductors in the form of positive charge on one conductor, negative charge on the second conductor, you can see that leads to development of V1 potential on one, V2 potential on one. As a result, potential difference is developed between them. The potential difference developed between them, if you write it as V, the potential difference between them now PD, V is equal to V1 minus V2. V1 minus V2. This is how we term it as potential difference, right? Potential difference between these two conductors. So you can just think over that potential difference between these two conductors is the amount of work done in driving one unit positive charge. Look here, amount of work done per unit positive charge to drive it from second conductor to the first conductor is called as potential difference between the two conductors. The amount of work done per unit charge to drive a positive charge from the second conductor to the first conductor, that is called as potential difference between the two conductors. That is what we have written it as V equal to V1 minus V2. So when there is a storage of charges, then it will definitely lead to potential. As amount of charge increases, the potential also increases. If less amount of charge is there, it will lead to less amount of potential difference. If more amount of charges are accumulated, if more and more amount of charges are stored, it will lead to more and more amount of potential difference. And as it is getting charged, you can also see there will be an electric field. When a conductor is charged with some amount of Q charge, definitely it will develop a potential difference and it will develop electric field. Electric field is developed between these two conductors, and that electric field is also leading to electric potential difference between the two conductors. Okay. Now, we have defined what is potential difference between these two. So that is V equal to V1 minus V2. So this is just a diagram, arbitrary diagram. So usually capacitors are of different types being used in the electronic circuitry. Spherical capacitors are available, cylindrical capacitors are available, disc types of capacitors are available, various types of capacitors are available which will be used in the electric and electronic circuits. The main purpose of using the capacitor is to store the charges and thereby store the electric energy, and whenever it is required in the circuit, these charges are released back, and this process of releasing the charges back to the circuit is called as discharging of the capacitor. So, charging and discharging both are important. Before it is connected to the battery, it is neutral. So, once it is connected to the terminals of the battery, the conductors of the capacitor are charged. So, that process is called as charging. Okay. Now, let us see next. To have better understanding of a capacitor, let us say that I have taken a conductor, and this conductor is kept on, let us say, on an insulator stand, and this conductor is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. So, once it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, let us say this conductor is charged with, say, some q amount of charge, q amount of positive charge. This is now charged conductor, which is held on an insulator stand. Now, we are bringing another conductor in the vicinity of this, another similar conductor of the same size and shape. We are bringing it very close to the first conductor. As a result, you see, this will start developing negative charge. The reason is the charging by induction. The charging by induction takes place. So, one side of this conductor will be developing same amount of negative charge by induction, and the other side of this conductor develops positive charge. Okay. And as a result, let us say the first conductor is having the potential V1 by storing some amount of charge plus Q. Let us say this is having potential V1, and by bringing the second uncharged conductor, let us say the potential of this second conductor is V2. So, the potential difference between these two now becomes V equal to V1 minus V2. Let us say this is earlier having 10 volt, and by bringing the second conductor, the second conductor gets charged by induction. Let us say it is having minus 5 volts. So, that the potential difference now becomes 10 minus 5 volts. This is how we write potential difference V equal to V1 minus V2. But here we do not want these charges which are there on the other side. We want the charges to be held within the plates of this system of two conductors. So, the second surface, outer surface of the second plate, outer surface of the second conductor is earthed, it is grounded. So, when it is grounded, then what happens? All these positive charges which are there on the outer side, they just are conducted and they are drawn down to the ground. So, you will not find any positive charge because of grounding. The positive charge will be just flowing down. The positive charges are just flowing down. In another way, actually it is the electrons which are flowing from the ground will be neutralizing on the outer surface, and thus the outer surface will not develop any positive charge. This makes a system of what is known as capacitor, a system of two conductors separated by an insulator. When they are charged, they will develop an electric field between them, and thus they will develop a potential difference. The potential difference between them is V1 minus V2. So, the electric field will be always directed from positively charged plate to negatively charged plate. You can see here. So, thus, if E is the electric field will be developed from positively charged plate to negatively charged plate. If D is the distance between them, then one can calculate what is the potential difference between them with the help of E. Potential difference V becomes equal to E into D. The reason is we have learnt E is equal to minus dV by dl, negative potential gradient. Here the electric field that is developed is going to be the uniform electric field. Therefore, we can write instead of dV is the potential difference. I can write potential difference as V1 minus V2, which is V, and the distance between them as d. Therefore, potential difference V becomes equal to E into d. Reason is electric field E is equal to V by d. Okay, this will concentrate later. Now, as we go on charging, what happens? As we go on charging, the amount of charges that are stored go on increasing. As charge increases, the potential difference also increases. You can see here, Q is directly proportional to V. As Q increases, V also increases. As Q decreases, V also decreases. So, if you take out this proportionality sign, you can write with a constant value that is called C into V. This C is called as capacitance of the capacitor. So, this C is thus a ratio of Q by V. It means the capacitance of the capacitor does not depend on Q, it does not depend on V also, because as we know, as Q increases, V also increases. As Q decreases, V also decreases, such that Q by V ratio remains the same. So, this is what we call it as the ratio of charge accumulated per unit potential difference. This ratio is called as capacitance. Capacitance. So, in general term, what is capacitance? Capacitance is the ability of storing charges. Ability of storing charges. Ability of storing charges per unit potential difference, or in simple term, how much is the amount of charge that is accumulated per volt per unit voltage, per unit potential difference. So, that is called as capacitance. So, you can also define capacitance as ratio of charge to the voltage, ratio of charge to the voltage or potential difference between the two conductors of a capacitor. That ratio is called as the capacitance of the capacitor, right. Now, the capacitance of the capacitor does not depend on Q also, does not depend on V also, because as V increases, Q also increases. As V decreases, Q also decreases, so that the ratio remains same. Now, if we want to have a capacitor to hold larger and larger amount of charge, then ultimately the voltage also increases. So, in order to have a capacitor of a large value of capacitance, it should hold large amount of charge at less amount of potential difference. It means we have to devise the capacitor such that for large amount of charge that is being stored on the plates of the capacitor, the potential difference between them must be less. For less amount of voltage, it should hold more amount of charge. That is the requirement of good capacitor. Requirement of good capacitor or large capacitor. Requirement of high capacitance if you want to have a requirement of high capacitance for any capacitor, what is required? It should store large amount of charge, Q at less expense or at less amount of voltage. That is potential difference. You can look at the ratio. For less amount of voltage, if it is having capacity to hold more amount of charge, then the capacitance of that capacitor will be large. That is the requirement of a good capacitor having high value of capacitance. Then how is it done? That is done by inserting an insulator, by inserting a dielectric in between the space of these two conductors. So, by inserting a dielectric, we have studied earlier, the net electric field decreases. By inserting a dielectric medium, suppose it is inserted with a dielectric medium like mica or any other paper, thick paper, to fill up this gap, then what happens? The electric field decreases. So, when the electric field decreases, the net electric field in between the region decreases. When the electric field decreases, then naturally what happens? The potential difference also decreases. When the potential difference decreases, then the capacitance of the capacitor gets enhanced. That is why the system of two conductors separated by an insulator forms a capacitor. I think you got the point now. So, in order to have this requirement of high capacitance, the capacitor space between the two conductors of the capacitors is inserted with a insulator or a dielectric. So, I can just write here, by inserting or filling, you can say by filling the gap, between the conductors. Usually they are called as plates, conductor plates, with a dielectric medium, dielectric slab or dielectric medium. The electric field E and potential difference decreases. Electric field and potential difference decreases, and thus the capacitance C increases. For less value of V, if you are capable of holding more amount of charge, then Q by V ratio increases. Therefore, thus C increases. This is the important thing. That's why you will find the capacitors filled with dielectric medium. Here you will find the significant role of dielectrics, wherein you will come to know by inserting a dielectric in between the gap of these two charged conductors or these two conductors, the electric field decreases, potential difference decreases, charge remains the same. So, it will be capable of holding more and more amount of charge at a less expense of voltage, and thus capacitance of the capacitor enhances. This is the very important requirement for a good capacitor. Now, when we define what is capacitance, then we can note down what is the SI unit of capacitance. SI unit of capacitance, you can see here, SI unit of capacitance. From the equation, it is coulomb per volt. 1 coulomb per volt is also termed as 1 farad. F-A-R-A-D. So, Farad, farad is the SI unit of capacitance. Farad is the SI unit of capacitance. So, how do you define 1 farad of capacitance? If a capacitor can store 1 coulomb of charge per volt of potential difference, then its capacitance is 1 farad. If a capacitor can store a charge of 1 coulomb by a potential difference of voltage of just 1 volt, by just maintaining 1 volt potential difference, if the capacitor is capable of holding 1 coulomb of charge, then the capacitance of that capacitor is 1 farad. You see, 1 coulomb of charge, how enormous it is, we have already discussed. Therefore, you will find capacitors of less values, usually capacitors of microfarad, that is 10 raised to minus 6 farad, nanofarad, that is 10 to the power of minus 9 farad, picofarad, 10 to the power of minus 12 farad. So, of such rating are available: microfarad, nanofarad, picofarad. Since farad is a very huge capacitance, farad is a very huge capacitance, because 1 coulomb per voltage, per unit volt, per unit potential difference is a very huge capacitor. It is a very huge capacitance that we will discuss later. Therefore, usually capacitors of values of the order of microfarad, nanofarad, picofarad are being used. 10 to the power of minus 6 micro, 10 to the power of minus 9 nanofarad, 10 to the power of minus 12 farad, picofarad are being used in the electronic circuitry. Now, next, what is the symbol of capacitor? Capacitance, symbol of capacitance. Now, we will draw the symbol of capacitor. Two parallel lines with two connecting leads. This becomes the symbol of capacitance. Symbol of capacitor with some fixed value. With some fixed value of capacitance. It may be 10 microfarad or 10 nanofarad. So, that capacitor with a fixed value is denoted by two parallel lines. Remember, the battery cell is represented by one again pair of parallel lines, but one with longer line, another one with shorter line. So, this is symbol of a cell or battery. Combination of such cells gives us battery, whereas these two lines must be drawn parallel and they should be of equal length. Then this becomes the symbol of capacitor. If it is a variable capacitor, if the capacitance of the capacitor can be changed, can be increased or decreased, then a line is drawn on that. So, this represents variable capacitor. Variable capacitor means it is having maximum value of capacitance from minimum value. So, that variation is possible. So, symbol of variable capacitor is shown by an arrow mark, right. Now, there is a very important thing to be discussed about the electric field and the capacitance of the capacitor. Consider this is a capacitor, and by connecting this capacitor plates to a battery, the first one connected to positive terminal and second one connected to negative terminal of the battery, the capacitor gets charged. Suppose it is being charged with say plus Q value, and it is ultimately with the negative charge on the other side with minus Q value. So, the charge on the both plates will be same, with one positive charge, another one with negative charge, same amount of charge. So, that the net charge of this charged capacitor plus Q minus Q is 0, net charge is 0, but one is having positive charge density, another one is having negative charge density. We have just now discussed the enhancement of capacitance. is done by reducing the voltage. So, by inserting this gap between the two plates with an insulator, with a dielectric, by filling it with a dielectric slab or dielectric medium, the potential difference decreases. Reason is the electric field, which is from positively charged plate to negative charged plate, this electric field decreases. As a result of decrease in electric field, potential difference decreases, but Q remains the same. So, when Q remains the same, potential difference decreases, capacitance increases. This is what we have learnt. But there is again a limit for this storing of charges. If we keep on storing more and more amount of charge, whether this capacitor is filled with dielectric or filled with air or vacuum, then as you go on charging it with higher and higher value of charges, then it develops higher and higher value of electric field. So, this electric field will affect the surrounding. This electric field not only affects the medium in between the two plates, it will also affect the surrounding medium. So, every dielectric whichever is filled here, dielectric, maybe mica or plastic, maybe paper, whatever it is, every dielectric has got its own strength, and that is called as dielectric strength. Dielectric strength. So, this dielectric strength of any medium that is filling up this capacitor is defined in terms of maximum electric field it can withstand, beyond which the medium starts conducting. Means the maximum electric field that it can withstand, up to which it will be having the property of insulating, it will be having the property of electrical insulator. Beyond that, once the electric field that is developed between them is more than the dielectric strength of the medium, then the dielectric medium starts conducting. As a result, the charges which are stored here, they start leaking and breakdown of the medium takes place. The breakdown of the medium takes place. So, we should be careful while charging the capacitor. So, charging of the capacitor should be done well below its value of dielectric strength of the medium. So, dielectric strength of the medium is defined as the maximum electric field that the medium means the dielectric medium can withstand, beyond which, means if the electric field increases more than that, beyond which the medium loses its insulating property, loses its insulating property. Means beyond that, the medium starts conducting. Medium starts conducting. Once the medium starts conducting, then you will find leakage of charges. Once the leakage of charges take place, then breakdown takes place. So, the meaning of this losing its insulating property is nothing but breakdown of the medium. So, here we can take the example of air. Example of air. Dielectric strength of air. Dielectric strength of air is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 6 volt per meter. As I have said, it is measured in terms of maximum electric field. The maximum electric field that air can withstand, if suppose it is filled with air, the maximum electric strength that air can withstand is of the order of 3 million volt per meter. 3 million volt per meter. If the electric field goes beyond this, if the charging of the capacitor takes place to such an high extent, if the electric field due to those charges is more than the dielectric strength of the air, then the air breaks down. The air breaking down of the air takes place, air starts conducting and leakage of the charges through the air takes place, and as a result it will have a breakdown. The capacitor gets breakdown, right. So, that is the meaning of dielectric strength. For example, suppose it is a capacitor with a distance between them, with a distance d between the two plates, if it is say equal to 1 centimeter, then you can calculate what is the voltage that is developed between these two plates. The voltage that is developed between these two plates, you can see maximum voltage that is developed between these two plates is V equal to ED. V equal to ED, if you just substitute here, then it becomes 3 into 10 raised to 6 into 10 raised to minus 2. So, it becomes 3 into 10 raised to 4 volts. So, 30,000 volts. The voltage developed between these two plates, which are separated by just 1 centimeter distance, will be of the order of 30,000 volts. That will be enough for the capacitor to have breakdown. Short circuit takes place and the capacitor will be burnt, right. So, in the same way, every dielectric medium that is taken here, it need not be all the time air or vacuum. It may be filled with mica, it may be filled with glass, or it may be filled with paper, right. So, every dielectric medium has got its own dielectric strength. So, charging should not take place to such an extent that the dielectric medium which is filled here should not have breakdown. It should not have breakdown. Okay. In the next video, we will discuss how the capacitance of a capacitor depends on the shape, size, dimensions and the distance between the two charge plates, distance between the two plates, distance d between the two plates. How the capacitance depends on shape, size and distance between the two plates of the capacitor. So, we are going to learn in the next video about parallel plate capacitor. Thank you. Have a nice day.